Hi, my name is Logan Hernandez, and this is my presentation on our Mod 14 case study. A little background information on Section 1. We have Principal Inman, who is the principal that has to deal with the whole situation that we're dealing with here. James, he's a student from the rougher part of town. He started building rapport with that section of students and those students from that area of the town. David, who's the other student involved in this exact situation, he is the I guess the straight laced, straight A student, the student that doesn't have a whole lot of issues, the student that most principals don't know about. They see him. The only interaction they really have with him is all good interaction. We have an unnamed teacher who sees a situation unfold. We're not exactly sure. That teacher's not exactly sure what that situation is. Then we have our student resource officer who was brought in by Principal Inman to help deal with the situation. And the situation that exactly unfolded was there was an exchange of something at first wasn't known. Later we find out was brass knuckles between James to David. And David, we can assume that James handed those off to David when he knew he was going to the office, although he wasn't sure what he was going to the office for. We find out some previous information that he's going there to have his tardies discussed with him. A couple legal and ethical issues that we see here is first off, the student resource officer, the SRO, they have different obligations legally than we do as educators. The SRO, he has to arrest both individuals because of possession, and most of us have probably heard that possession is 90% of the law. Therefore, the student resource officer, his hands are really tied in this situation. He faces legal obligations if he does not do his job correctly. Now, when we look at ethical issues, that's more for us as leaders in education. We could possibly be breaching our ethical guidelines. There's four different scenarios, which we'll go over a little bit more later on in this presentation. Uh, Principal Inman, he's looking at it from wanting to protect David. He also does have quite a bit of pride in James for standing up and doing what really was the right thing to do when they were in the office, and he admitted that he bullied David into um, holding on to the brass knuckles for him. And as educators and as principals, we often are times faced with the ethical issue of having to follow guidelines versus following what we believe is right. And in this situation, it's no different. Principal Inman, guidelines say he has to file a 45-day expulsion for David, although he was bullied into it. He really runs into the issue of, does he follow the guidelines that are set forth by the district, or does he follow his conscience and what he believes is correct? Now, Section 3, which was just a sentence of what was going on, Principal Inman is actually evaluating his different options he is faced between following the district policy and with what he feels is in the best interest of all students involved. And that really is what we have to deal with as educators almost on a daily basis. Maybe not to this extreme, but a lot of times we do have to deal with, do we follow what is actually set forth in our district policy, or do we follow what we feel is in the best interest of all individuals involved? Now, the facts about the situation. We know that Principal Inman has started building rapport with James. We hear about that early on in the case study. James had really started to improve not just his studies, but also his attitude and the way he was acting in school. After a while of that happening, James has started getting some tardies. He had 3 tardies in a week. Principal Inman was wanting to question him, see what was going on, see if there was something else going on outside of school that could possibly be causing this. Now, as we know, James is getting ready to be questioned about his tardies. He hands something off to David. We have the unnamed educator find that or see that happening. We know that Principal Inman, he states that he really had no interaction with David in the past. All he remembers is talking to him after a concert. Now, Principal Inman does bring in the student resource officer just in case there was a more involved situation of something being exchanged, possibly drug paraphernalia. Now, when searched by the when being questioned about it, David uh, begins to cry and admits to having possession of brass knuckles. And we see and we understand that Principal Inman begins to have some pride as James admits to bullying David into keeping the brass knuckles so that he wouldn't be caught with them. Now, however, the student resource officer has no choice but to arrest both boys, and both were taken to the jail and were on the path to having to serve at least a 45-day expulsion. Um, After that happened, Principal Inman, he fills out the paperwork for James to be expelled. However, he does not fill the paperwork out for David. Some of the stakeholders that are really involved with this specific situation is one of the principals. Principal Inman, we understand he's not the head principal. He is an assistant principal. He's really stuck between options. He has to sit there and he has to evaluate the options of what is really correct. Is it what is the policy, or is it what he feels is consciously correct? Now, student resource officer, he doesn't have a lot of choice in this situation. He has to do what he is legally obligated to do and follow the oath that he took when he stepped into that position of being an officer in general. And he has to follow the guidelines that are set forth by his police department. Now, the director of secondary education, this is who we also know in here is one of the stakeholders. He is insisting that Principal Inman follows district policy, even though he knows that he is stuck in a situation where where Principal Inman doesn't feel he really knows what is the correct decision to do. Now, the district policy we know states that both boys must be expelled for at least 45 days and go through the program that is set forth by the specific district. Now, going through this, I really see 4 possible options that could happen here. And going through these, we have to evaluate them, which we will do in the next section of this. The first option that I really see that Principal Inman could have taken was he could have not filed paperwork on either of the students, and we can go into details of why, pros and cons of that. And he could have filed paperwork on both students, quite opposite of filling paperwork on either student or on neither student. Now, he could have only filed paperwork on James, who bullied David into holding the brass knuckles, or he could have filed paperwork only on David, who was in possession of the brass knuckles. We have to evaluate each one of these options. Every option that we come up with as educators, we have to take time and evaluate every single one of them. By not filing paperwork on either student, Principal Inman shows that he's standing up not just for one of the students, but he's actually shown he's standing up for both the students. That's going to build a lot more rapport with both the students. It's likely going to build a great rapport with a large amount of the student body. Now, the issue with that policy is not followed whatsoever. He is likely going to get a reprimand, which could possibly tarnish his career and could stop his career where it's at, because we do know that he is very early in on his career as a principal. Now, if he on the opposite of that, he can file paperwork on both students. He follows the district policy, which states he needs to, and he is supposed to do that. He is also doing what legally really is correct, where he says both students were arrested on school grounds. Both are going to be expelled for 45 days at least. He also avoids a reprimand and he saves his own career. Now, this is not necessarily good, because now David is being punished for something he was bullied into. This could potentially stop David's career path and school path where it is at. He may end up not being able to get the scholarships that he really could possibly and could earn and most likely will deserve. This also is going to negatively impact the rapport and the engagement with the students that he has. Now, if he files paperwork only on James, um, he is he's the student that was bullying is going to be punished. So James, he was the bully in this situation. He's the one that's actually going to be punished for doing what was incorrect. Principal Inman is standing up for what he actually believes in as well, and he's going to create a larger rapport and engagement with the student body. And this is what he likely believes is ethically correct. Now, on the flip side, David is still likely going to be suspended for the 45 days. Um, I was talking to my principal about this situation and how he had dealt with prior situations that he had been involved with. He said that with this specific situation or this specific case study, there's always an appeals process when it comes to expulsions. And he said that by that, as long as the principal can actually uh, justify what he is doing and why he is not following district policy, and he can actually serve on that, or not serve on it, but give his statement to the appeals process, or to the appeal panel. Now, Principal Inman, he's likely going to still be reprimanded. Uh, re- we're not positive exactly what that looks like or what that's going to be in this specific district. It could be uh, more severe in certain districts over others. Now, his career could end up being held up, and to where he it takes him a lot longer to take that next step, or he may never be able to take that next step into being an actual building principal. Now, the fourth situation we look at it, he could possibly file paperwork on only David. Now, the student that was in possession is going to be punished for this. Uh, but the issue is James, who we know has a long history of doing, uh, being involved in situations like this. He's going to end up getting basically a free pass. He bullied David into holding the brass knuckles. Um, and so David is going to be the one that gets punished. It's going to probably stop David's schooling and school path and career path where it's at. Now, he's still likely going to get a reprimand, and his and Principal Inman's career path is likely going to still be affected in one way or another. Now, it took me a while to actually come to an option of what I would want to do, and that's what I really liked about this case study. I decided to go with filing paperwork on James only. This this allows David to continue to go to school, knowing he's likely still going to be suspended. However, we can, as a principal, we can still give a testament to the appeals, to the appeals, to the in the appeal process. Now we're going to accept the reprimand, and knowing that it's likely going to affect our career path in one way or another. The way I ended up looking at it was, even though this is going to affect the career path that I'm on, I'm if we're only here to advance ourselves, we probably are in the wrong path or in the wrong career. We need to stand up for what we believe in. We need to stand up for the students. The students are what we're here for, and the students are who we need to fight for. And that's really the reason that I ended up going with the option of filing the paperwork on James, even though as early on in the career, I understand that this is probably going to affect my career path one way or another. However, I'm doing what I consciously feel is right and what I feel is ethically correct by standing up and fighting for the student that really was bullied into the position that he ended up being in, to where he's still likely going to be following, or still likely going to be receiving some type of suspension, even though he was bullied into that. And I hope that all of you gain something from uh, going through when listening and reading through this case study. Thank you.